So we finally have some new information about Project Rene. It's been a while since we have heard anything about this upcoming Sims game, and if you guys have not heard of Project Rene, it basically is the next Sims game that's in development that is going to be very different. It's going to be available on all different platforms, including mobile, and it's also going to have multiplayer. So this has left a lot of people feeling very iffy, and a lot of us thought it was The Sims 5, but they have confirmed that this is not The Sims 5, but it is like the next generation of The Sims. And they plan to have The Sims 4 running alongside Project Rene. So recently there was an interview with someone at EA and it was posted on Variety, so I'm going to have this link down below if you want to read through the whole thing, because they do talk about more than just The Sims. They talk about things like Battlefield 6, The Sims movie, Star Wars and Marvel titles, but of course we're going to be focusing on the Sims information here. So the first little bit of the interview is talking all about Battlefield 6, and then they go into some multiplayer stuff with Project Rene. So it says here, while EA has remained largely mum and very teasing on its upcoming multiplayer offering for the Sims franchise, Mealy confirms it now represents one of the biggest growth opportunities for Electronic Arts moving forward, and the team is hard at work and feverishly developing what this multiplayer platform is going to be. So when it comes to multiplayer with this new Sims game, it makes me excited and nervous all at the same time. So if they have it just be a side thing that we have an option to do, I am all for that, because you know what? I want to play The Sims on my own. I want to just tell my stories and everything and not worry about, other online players. I want to just keep my peace and have my cozy time. But on the other hand, offering a multiplayer feature for a Sims game as an option, that is going to bring in more players who do want that, and I think it's good for like an every now and then type of thing to play with your friend or something. I do have other friends who play Sims, and if we want a game together, it would be nice if we could play our favorite game together, but on a regular basis, I would just prefer to play offline. So I'm really hoping that they have, the main focus be the life simulation and not just totally focusing on multiplayer, because a huge reason why The Sims 4 has struggled so much and is made the way it is, and a lot of things don't make sense of why they went in this direction and that direction, and why the core of the game is the way it is because they planned for The Sims 4 to be multiplayer, and then they kind of backtracked and changed their mind, which resulted in the game we have today. So next they say here, what we're doing is upgrading and refreshing all of this technology, and we'll be adding modes of play, but we also are going to be creating and updating the base technology and the base user experience on the core game. So you're going to have this life simulation. You're going to have multiplayer capabilities. We are going to have mobile expressions of this. We're doing cozy games as well, and more to come on that. We did a release with Nintendo on cozy games in Asia for The Sims. I see The Sims as a significant ecosystem and a universe of multiple Sims experiences that we have to build on. So this is a lot to take in. I feel like a lot was said here in just this little paragraph, honestly. We'll be adding modes of play. So that tells me, okay, we don't need to worry. There'll be different modes of play that we can choose from. As long as they do it right, I am okay with this. I'm not against multiplayer. I just don't want to see a situation where the game is a flop because they focus too much on that aspect. It needs to be balanced, Because, it kind of separates each category. It says here, you're going to have this life simulation, you're going to have multiplayer capabilities, and then mobile expressions of this. And then the cozy games. So I guess they're also going to be working on more cozy games. They, of course, did release the other My Sims games on the Nintendo Switch. Those were a re-release, but honestly, I feel like that was a good test to see how things like that would do. I would love more Sims cozy games, like brand new ones, Personally, I just love cozy games, and that would make me really happy, but I do want to know how you guys feel about that down below. So them seeing The Sims as an ecosystem, I want to know how you guys feel about them saying that, because I have never really heard them referring to The Sims as an ecosystem before. And so they're definitely trying to go in a totally different direction with The Sims. I think there's going to be a lot of different games in the future. Clearly they're trying to branch out with Project Rene not being The Sims 5 and wanting to do cozy games and all that. I really think in the next 5 to 10 years from now, we're going to have multiple different Sims games, which could be a good thing, but also could be awful. I don't know. We're gonna have to see. So they also noted some disappointment from the community, which I'm glad is in here. While some fans have expressed disappointment the game isn't going to the traditional sequel game route with A Sims 5, Mealy maintains this is for the best for the larger community of Simmers. I really hope they know what they're doing here. I mean, I've always thought from the beginning, the reason they're making all these changes is definitely because they want to cater to a bigger audience. And, obviously at the end of the day, yes, they have this huge community already. So it's like, why change things, right? But I believe they want to grow an even bigger community of Simmers. And there is a lot of, there is that side of people who want multiplayer and they say they would play The Sims if there was multiplayer and things like that, right? Or if it was available on mobile. And this is obviously where those players will be able to play. So they also mention the whole starting from day zero, which is something they don't want to do. So they've talked about this before. So here they've said, what I wouldn't want to have happen is you to have to start from day zero and start from scratch and give up all of the things that you have created. Give up all of the content that you've purchased over the years. We put out over 85 content packs over the last 10 years on The Sims 4. And so resetting that is not player friendly and not a good idea for our community. So I have mixed thoughts about this as well, because while I absolutely agree that starting from day zero and having to buy all that content again is honestly awful, the amount of money that The Sims 4 costs is outrageous. But having over 85 content packs in the first place is not player friendly. Okay, so, that's the root problem in my opinion. I do think it would be okay to create a Sims 5 and do it the right way, how it was done in The Sims 2 and 3, which yes, there was still a lot of packs and stuff like that, but they were full, they were more worth the money. They added more substance, you know what I mean? So a lot of the Sims 4 packs leave you feeling very empty and leave you feeling like you want to buy more content, leave you feeling like you need all the packs to have a good experience. That's the actual problem here, but obviously we can't go back in time, and now that they've already released this much content and the price of The Sims 4 in total is absolutely insane, it does make sense how they don't want people to start from day zero and they want to take a different approach just because, they can't go back and change what they've done. So next they talk about the Sims movie. So the Sims movie is still happening. I know things have been quiet. And if you guys don't know, Margot Robbie is a part of this, which is the main thing that gives me hope about the Sims movie. I mean, she was a part of the Barbie movie, which was a huge success. And that movie definitely had the possibility of being just awful and cringy and not a hit at all, but instead it was such a hit. It had such a good message. It was so touching. It literally made me cry. I've seen that movie multiple times now. It is so good. And so knowing that Margot Robbie is a part of this does really make me think it's going to be a good movie, but we'll have to see. So supposedly they've been talking about a Sims movie for years and years. And then it also says here, EA is currently considering significant opportunities for tie-ins with the Sims games upon the release of the Sims movie. So this could mean lots of different things, but they want there to be tie-ins. So we could see different content for the Sims 4, maybe different packs that kind of tie in with the movie. So that is pretty much all the information that I wanted to go over from the interview with you guys. Like I said, I'm gonna have a link down below if you guys want to read the whole thing through. But what do you guys think about this? How are you feeling? Something about this interview does give me a little bit of hope for Project Rene, and I really hope I'm not disappointed. The thing with Project Rene is I'm kind of just waiting it out, I need to see more. It could be something that I absolutely love. Who knows? I just, something I will say is I am all for EA creating different Sims games. It's just, I really wanted a Sims 5 5 years ago. So that's where I'm kind of disappointed. But we know that's not happening now. So all we can hope is that Project Rene will be something we actually enjoy and it's going to surprise us all. And if it's not something we enjoy, I really hope they do start releasing other games, which it sounds like that's their plan. And I would love to see a brand new cozy game instead of just remakes of the My Sims games. Imagine a brand new Sims cozy game. I would absolutely love that. I love cozy games for the Switch. That's where I always play my cozy games like Animal Crossing and different farming games and stuff. So I would love to see that. And I always say that I miss the spin-off games, like The Sims 2 had all those spin-off games. My Pet Stories, My Life Stories. And then, of course, Castaway. That was the best one. And then for The Sims 3, of course, we saw things like The Sims Medieval. And I really enjoyed all of those. I think they did them all very well. So if we could have things like that again in a cozy way, I would absolutely adore that. So I want to know how you guys feel about that as well. I do feel like The Sims has the opportunity to be something so much bigger. It's just, are they going to execute it properly? I don't know. And I know change can obviously be something a lot of us don't like. And so I feel like that's why a lot of us feel like, oh my goodness, what are they doing? Why are we not just getting The Sims 5? But I think with this, we just have to wait and feel it out. And you guys already know, like at this current moment, I'm very worried about Project Rene. But as I see more, that could entirely change because, you know, when they first showed off Project Rene, I was a lot more excited. And then as they showed more and more, I started to get worried. And then I started to just kind of like shift away from it and be like, ooh, I don't know about this. This doesn't seem right. What are they doing? But I don't know. This interview does give me some sort of like hope that it could be something good. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I wish we knew more of when this game could arrive, but I know it'll still be a while off because we've barely seen anything. And even like the playtesting, little clips we've seen, you can see it's like so early in development. But you guys, with that, I'm going to wrap up this discussion video here. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I hope you guys are having an amazing day, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys.
You're the rose in a garden, and it shows if I'm honest.